Good morning, Husker fans. Welcome back to the Husker Big Red YouTube channel. I'm Chris Peterson, and joining me, as always, is Danny Gillette. We're back here on this Thursday morning. We've got a ton to talk about today. Apparently, a Matt Rhule extension has been signed or will be signed soon. So we're going to break that down and kind of talk about all the things that means for the Nebraska football program moving forward. But we do have a top 25 opponent this weekend on USC, number 23, coming in. So we're going to break that down, and we're going to preview the offense, the defense, the biggest keys, throw out some bold predictions, and actually have a prediction against the spread. So kind of a loaded show here. So make sure that you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get into the comment section. And Danny, how are you feeling on this Thursday morning, man?
Well, it's kind of rainy and cold here, but it's heating up in Nebraska land, so I can't complain. I'm feeling good. My Patriots are doing good. Everything's going well so far, and I hate to admit it, but Nebraska often affects my mood on the weekend, so I'm hoping I'll have a happy weekend come Sunday afternoon, or a happy Sunday at least, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get things going.
Yeah, it's a big game for the Huskers. Another, you could say this is the biggest game of the Matt Rhule era. There's a lot of those types of games, but this really does feel like maybe the biggest one where it could kind of catapult Nebraska, into a pretty fun November, I think, if they win this game. But I think the first topic on everybody's mind right now, the first topic of conversation is Matt Rhule. Is he going to sign this extension? And Josh Peterson, who writes for Husker Max and I believe works for 1620 as a local sports radio host, he first on Tuesday was posting that he had sources telling him that Troy Dannon was working on a deal with Matt Rhule. So that kind of came out. And then yesterday he did write an article for Husker Max, which is the Nebraska SI site, that this deal has been signed. That's what he's reporting. This is Josh Peterson, and of course, it sounds like there's going to be new money for Matt Rhule. I mean, that's just, I know that that's going to upset some people, but that's just the reality of the business. So there's going to be more money for Matt Rhule. Sounds like there's going to be more money for assistant coaches, more resources for NIL. We have to see what the final details are. I mean, the only thing that really I think matters is like what the buyout is. I mean, in terms of, like what the money side of it is. I really don't care what he's making per year. I mean, it's going to be a crazy amount for any coach at one of these programs. So I think the main thing we need to look at is, what's the buyout? What's the structure like for that? How easy will it be for Nebraska to get out of this contract if he doesn't have the success that they think he's going to have? And so until we have that information, I mean, it's kind of hard to judge it. I've seen a lot of positive reaction. I've seen some negative reaction. So what's your reaction if this deal, is actually signed?
I'm happy. I think it's the right move. I think it was a good idea to get, it reportedly done before these other coaches like a Brian Kelly maybe or Lane Kiffin, asked for their money. And so I really do think that this is the right move. As much as, some fans want to fire the coach and stuff and, blah, blah, blah. We can't keep rotating coaches. And I think this is a sign to recruits and, to the program that they're committed to their guy. And, we've heard that he wants more money for, assistants. He wants more money for NIL. And he kind of talked about it in one of his previous press conferences, and it happened. I mean, if you remember back in 2023, when he said it takes $1 million to land a quarterback from the transfer portal, a nice little check came through that Friday, and help them get Dylan Raiola. So I think this is a really smart move. I think it's a good idea to get him signed. Say what you want about, maybe frustrations this year, but 2 bowl games in a row, 2 6-win seasons, and at the very least, and, a chance to really make an impact on the recruiting trail in 2027. I think the class is ranked 3rd or 4th right now. So there's a lot of positive momentum, and, good on Troy Dannon to reportedly, they haven't officially announced it yet at the time of this recording, get a deal done.
Yeah, it's I do want to say Will Compton posted last night after Josh Peterson posted this. Husker Nation just got off the phone. I can tell you with absolute certainty in all caps that Coach Rhule has not signed an extension. Hopefully that changes tomorrow. Go Big Red. And he hinted that he had actually spoken to Matt Rhule. So it doesn't maybe hasn't been signed yet, but it definitely sounds like it's either very close or like agreement is done in principle. I mean, it sounds like this is going to happen. You could even see it from the Penn State insiders this week saying they were kind of hinting that like Matt Rhule was coming off the board. And I do think that this is a good move. I know I've said even a couple weeks ago, maybe Nebraska shouldn't do this, but at this, you just have to. Like it's just smart business at this point. It's just the market because look, Matt Rhule, he's made progress. Okay, like, and I don't care. Progress isn't always as fast, doesn't always come as quickly as we want it to, but he's definitely made progress. I mean, they went 7-6 last year. They won a bowl game. They're 6-2 right now. They're not even out of the playoff race yet. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. Like the Big Ten Network put out a graphic of every team that has 2 losses, and they're like, which one of these teams can make the playoff? Because every team with 2 losses has a chance right now. And so, like, legitimately, we have 2 home games against USC and Iowa. You win those 2 home games, you win those 2 road games again, then they're winnable. These are all winnable games. If Nebraska wins out, they're going to the playoff. And I know that that's like, a long shot. I understand that. But the arrow for this program is pointing up. Like you mentioned, the recruiting class. I mean, he's 18 and 15, which I get isn't like out of over this world or whatever. But when's the last time Nebraska before this season, assuming we get one more win, had consecutive winning seasons? I mean, it's been over a decade. It's been
2014, 2015, was it? Or 2015, 2016?
I don't know, because 2015 they went 6-7. They went to a bowl game that year, but they went 6-7. So I think it was 2013, 2014. So we're talking
12 years ago.
Over a decade since we've done. So like to me, this doesn't necessarily mean that Troy Dannon thinks that like Matt Rhule's the greatest coach ever. Like I'm sure that they want more results, but like what's the alternative? Letting him go to Penn State and then we're going to start over. Like I do think that Nebraska could have went out and found a coach, but like this team right now, if you look at this roster, I posted the depth chart the other day and people are like, wow, there's not that many seniors. So I counted up, there's 14 starters that are projected to be back next year. On offense, the only guy that's basically leaving is Dane Key. I mean, and Justin Evans. There's a couple of offensive linemen, but the only still guy that's leaving is Dane Key. Emmett Johnson's a junior. Dylan Raiola is a sophomore. Luke Lindenmeyer's a junior. I mean, this team is loaded offensively. Sure, they're going to need to find some defensive line and maybe some offensive line help, but like this team, I mean, whatever they do over this last month is going to lead into next season, right? So it's like, why would you throw away, one of the best quarterbacks that you've had, and also you've got Trey Taylor coming in the future.
A really good 2027 recruiting class in general, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they already got 5-star in Torrey Pittman. I mean, Matt Erickson. So they've got 2 of the best players in the state committed right now. So the arrow's pointing up, and I think it's worthwhile for Nebraska to see where this goes over the next 5 years. And the fact is, if they didn't get a deal done, Matt Rhule could have gone to Penn State. Like, what happens? I mean, all Nebraska fans want to sit here and say, oh, he hasn't beaten Iowa, he hasn't beaten USC. Well, what if he does beat USC on Saturday? And what if then he goes to the next and beats UCLA, and then he goes to Penn State and wins at Happy Valley, and all of a sudden Nebraska's 9-2? You don't think Penn State's going to be calling Matt Rhule then? So it's like, this was a smart move. This was smart business. This is like in the NFL when you it's like this is like the Packers signing Jordan Love. I'm not trying to like make it that, but like they overpaid Jordan Love when they had to early because they could see what he was going to be, and you have to make a little bit of a bet. And this is a gamble for Nebraska, no question about it. But I think it's the right gamble. I think it's the right move. And I think Matt Rhule's the right coach, at least to see, where this can go in 3 or 4 years, because it's the arrow is definitely pointing up. Now, maybe it's not as drastic as we all want. It's not Indiana or whatever, but this program is trending up, and this was a smart thing to do if it actually does happen and gets announced today, like we all think it's going to.
I was told to be ready today. So, I mean, to me, that means I'm going to be writing, but no, it's like the Patriots signing Stephon Diggs coming off an ACL injury in free agency. You weren't sure what he was going to do. It was a high risk, high reward scenario, and it's paid off for the Patriots. And I really do think this is a smart move. I wouldn't want to be, waiting to sign an extension till the end of the season. Matt Rhule goes somewhere else, and then we're stuck without a coach because the coaching market goes too quick. I wouldn't want that either. And then we hire somebody from, I don't know, Sister Mary School for the Blind, and we get stuck with that. And, for some reason, it's been hard for Nebraska to rebuild. I get in this transfer portal era, rebuilds can happen quick, but for some reason, everything's always harder for Nebraska. And so I would worry that Matt Rhule leaving would make this program fall behind a little bit. So I am happy that they were able to get this done. And not for nothing, but it also seems like he has a really great relationship with Troy Dannon. So I think that will pay off down the road.
Yeah, man. I mean, what how many 3 1-score wins this year in Big Ten
Yeah.
games? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like I do understand it. I get it. It's not Signetti. Like I've said many of those same things, but like this is the best move for Nebraska football. No one's saying that this is going to guarantee we're going to win the Big Ten or whatever. But
No.
like, and I know people are going to get mad when they see the money for that Matt Rhule is getting because he's going to get a raise. People prepare yourself for it. He just is. He
Now,
was
is
already,
this public funds or athletic department funds?
I mean, I have no idea on that
Because
part of
that's
it.
the other thing that they complain
Yeah.
about. I mean, you're paying
Yeah.
you're paying for the tickets. You're helping fund his salary, whether you like it or not, by going to the games every
Yeah.
Saturday. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But sorry, I just kind of wondered about that myself.
Yeah, I just know that people are gonna when they see the money because I think he was supposed to make like 13 million by like 2030 or something. So I mean, like he's gonna be up in the like I almost guarantee you that he's making it'll be over 10 million every year, and that's fine. That's just the going rate for coaches. Like this is big time college football. You got to wrap your head around it, and let's try to wrap our head around the black jerseys
Well,
too,
also
folks.
don't forget
I mean, come on
black.
now.
I was just about to say, don't forget, Chris. These are the same
Lord.
people that are having a stroke over the black jerseys. So I
I
don't know.
know, man. I know you see those Facebook posts. I will not wear black, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't understand it. It's fun. I mean, I
You're
do
seeing
get
those
it.
Facebook posts too. Like people are
Yeah,
pissed. You would have thought we
I
killed their
know.
dog or something. I don't know.
I know. You can't change the uniform at Nebraska. God forbid you try to change the colors one week. But
God forbid you try to get out of the '90s and make things attractive for the modern day football player.
I know. And I was having this conversation, yeah, actually with my landlord the other day. But it's like on the age scale, the higher you go up on the age scale, the fewer people like the all black. It doesn't, and that's like Nebraska fans, but that's everywhere because I've dealt with that like in my career covering high school sports.
Yeah.
The older generation just does not like the all black. The kids do; they love it. So
I
I'm
mean,
not.
the Perryman Panthers wore all black, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It was cool. I mean, it's sure it's over. It's been a little bit overdone because like everybody kind of does it, but Nebraska's never done it. So I think it's cool. It's gonna, and if we do it, man, it's gonna make for a fun atmosphere. So
There's going to be 50 kids there on or over 50 on Saturday. So hey,
yeah, let's show them what Lincoln Memorial Stadium can really be like.
I hope they bring back the Throw the Bones banner that they had at the Miami game. I hope they bring that back.
That
the
was
Boneyard.
Cool. Yeah, I want to see more guys throwing the bones. We haven't, I've noticed on the defense they don't throw the bones that much this year. So
I think we're also nervous about whether or not we're going to win the game.
That's probably true. Yeah, I don't want to throw the bones yet. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see some bones thrown Saturday night though, because looking at this USC game, I know this offense is high powered, like no question about it. But they haven't played quite as well on the road. And so yeah, I don't know what's your impression of this USC team, kind of your initial scouting report?
I really like this USC team. I like Jaden Maivia. I think they are very explosive. This is a typical, Lincoln Riley quarterback-led team. I actually really like their game, and honestly, I've talked to a lot of their fans this week who have also said that when we came for their homecoming game last year, their fans were flipping out about the retro Trojan logo. So shout out to the USC fans for having something in common with us. But I really do like this team. They are very high powered. I mean, they beat Missouri State in the opening game of the season by a 73-13 score, and they've kind of taken it from there. They beat the Wolverines. Obviously they lost to Notre Dame in their last game. Lost to Illinois, but scored 32 points. So they are an offensive juggernaut. And like I said, it starts with Jaden Maivia. He's had a great year, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 2,000 passing yards. And you mentioned his name earlier this week, but Makai Lemon is a very big-time playmaking receiver, 758 yards, can really stretch the field, 6 touchdowns. So I expect Sayer Wright to be matched up on him. And as far as their running game is kind of concerned, this is a team, you look across the board, Wayman Jordan is averaging 6.5 yards per carry. King Miller has 8.1 yards per carry. So again, this is a team that can run the football in addition to having a high-powered passing offense. So it really is kind of an interesting matchup in terms of there's not one thing specifically that they excel at. They excel at both facets of the football in terms of running and passing. So I'll be curious to see how Nebraska handles that. I don't think it's going to be easy, but and I guess we can get into this for keys to the game. So I'll let you talk now, but I'm just really impressed by this USC team. I think they're explosive offensively, and they're a typical Lincoln Riley team in that way.
Yeah, so 42.4 points per game, so they're fifth in all of college football. However, that averaged so they've played 3 road games this year. They've averaged 29 points per game on the road. So it's true that their offense hasn't been quite as good. They scored 33 at Purdue, 32 against Illinois, and then 24 against Notre Dame. So they haven't scored fewer than 20 points, but they also haven't scored more than 33. So, I mean, I think that that's probably, a positive mindset for Nebraska. And I do think that this defense in some ways matches up well against USC. I think the things that Nebraska does well in terms of like their pass defense, I think matches up against USC. I do have some concerns with the scheme of Nebraska and with their blitz. They tend to blitz to get pressure. I think they need to not do that in this game. I think they really, I think Nebraska should ditch the 3-3-5 as much as possible. I think they need to play 4 down linemen because here's what USC is going to do. They're going to come out with 12 personnel because they have these 2 tight ends that they love throwing the football to. And that's the thing is they love to keep that personnel out there because they're like, hey, we've got Walker Lyons. And then also Lake McCree, who's got 16 catches for 307 yards. And guess what? He leads the Big Ten in yards per reception, 19.2. That's not even their big receiver Lemon. So Lake McCree, and then you've also got the other guy, I'm blanking on his name, the tight end. Anyway, Walker Lyons, excuse me. Yeah. So he's also, had quite a few receptions this year. He hasn't been quite as productive, but he's also a really good blocker. He's got 13 catches for 174 yards. So what they love to do, they love to put these 2 tight ends out there. Then they can run the ball at you. They're both receiving weapons. They can split them out wide. So that's really how they're going to try to create mismatches. And then the other thing that they're going to try to do is use those tight ends as blockers. So like if you come and try to, blitz, like they will just screen you to death. That's what they did to Michigan. They just screened them to death. So I hope that John Butler watched that game plan because it's just like every time Michigan blitzed, and they haven't been that effective blitzing, but every time they blitzed, it was like Lincoln Riley just, he was ready for it. And the thing with Jaden Mayava, or I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but he's a really experienced quarterback, and it's just really hard to fool him. He gets the ball out quickly. They've got a lot of good weapons. So
I remember last year, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the defensive lines, they're just going to have to try to get pressure as much as possible. And then the thing, their running game, when you think about USC, you think, oh, like dominant passing attack. They are averaging 203 rushing yards per game, but Wayman Jordan, who's their starting running back, is not going to play in this game. He's been out for a few weeks. Eli Sanders, who started the year as the backup, he transferred from Fresno State. He's out for the season. So King Miller, former walk-on, is going to start in this game. He did rush for 158 yards against Michigan and also had 70 yards rushing against Notre Dame. So he's been pretty productive, but they are somewhat thin back there, but they are a pretty good run team. They like to run power. They like to run some of those trap type of stuff. So I do worry about them getting hit for like a big play like that happened against Michigan, or I'm trying to think like Minnesota, getting caught in with Minnesota, they just kind of got beat, but I'm worried about them getting caught in like a stunt, something like that. And USC hits like a power play for 60-70 yards. They did that to Michigan a number of times. So if you want to slow down this USC offense, you have to defend power. And I am somewhat worried about that with Nebraska. We did see more 4-man fronts last week, more Cade Patrizak, and I think that's the formula. Put your 4-man defensive line out there. Let those guys try to get pressure. Play as many guys back in coverage as possible. And basically, I would use like the Cincinnati game plan. I would play 2 high safety, and I would just make them dink and dunk all the way down the field, try to limit big plays. Because look, you're not going to stop this offense. That's my opinion. The thing that you need to do is slow it down. And I think Nebraska, if they're smart, I think that they can do that.
Offensively, I want them to hold the ball as much as possible. Do what Minnesota did to us, to USC. Hold the ball as long as possible. I don't want to get into a shootout with these guys because, like you said, I don't think you can stop the USC offense. But I would like to see us maybe hold the ball as much as possible. Utilize Emmett a lot like we did last week. I really liked that aspect of the game plan. And I'm not opposed to taking risks or deep shots down the field, but I do think we need to play not conservative but cautious. offensively.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then you look at this, this USC defense, it's still not like great. I mean, they gave up 303 passing yards to Purdue. They gave up 225 passing yards and 3 touchdowns to Michigan State and Chili's or Childs, whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his stupid name. Luke Altmaier threw for 331, and Illinois ran for 171 on these guys. So, it's not a juggernaut defense. Even in the Michigan game, I know they struggled a bit, but Bryce Underwood was 15 of 26 for 207 yards. The problem, it really wasn't that Michigan wasn't able to move the ball. USC just played keep away. They had way more plays. Michigan only got 55 plays. So USC's defense, I mean, even though they saw 55 plays, they gave up 316 yards against Michigan. So even in that game, they were giving up almost 6 yards a play. You look at the Notre Dame game, and CJ Carr, guess what? He didn't have that great of a game, but he only threw for 136, but he didn't have to because Notre Dame ran for 300 yards. So, I mean, there's definitely, they gave up 111 yards against Michigan. They gave up 171 rushing yards against Illinois. So they can give up, this isn't a great defense. Against Illinois, they got 1 sack. Against Notre Dame, they got 1 sack. So I think for Nebraska,
against us, they'll have 7.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think they figured some things out last week.
Yeah.
I think they did. And I saw some adjustments in the scheme, more RPOs, because like if people are going to blitz you, you got to RPO them. Like if they're going to put a ton of guys in the box, like you just have to do it. And so
I've been impressed with the growth of Pritchett too. I feel like he's played a lot better.
Pritchett, there's a noticeable difference when Pritchett's out there at tackle. Like he is the one guy who I trust in one-on-one situations to protect Dylan Raiola's blind side. So like that is good. Gatula played much better last week. I think sometimes as an offensive lineman, like when you make a mental mistake, it can make you look really bad. And I think that against Minnesota, I think that Gunnar had some mental mistakes, like more than physical. Like the one sack he gave up, he didn't even block the guy. Like, that's not a physical mistake. That was just, he shoved down inside. He shouldn't have done. I don't know why he did that. I mean, I didn't sit there and, look at the play, but so I think some of the mistakes that were made against Minnesota, I think some of those were more mental than physical. And last week they were really good. And yes, it was getting the ball out quickly and all that type of stuff, but they've got the pieces to do that. So I think that they can replicate that game plan this week. And yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think that the Minnesota game plan, like most games have 100. Like my goal is Nebraska. What I think Nebraska's goal should be is to have this game be about 110 plays. Like I really think that they need to milk the clock every time. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't. You obviously, if you get a chance for an explosive play, you take it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you be methodical and give this USC defense a heavy dose of Emmett Johnson on Saturday.
I like that, and like you said earlier this week, it's no longer can he make it through the season. It's now he can make it through the season.
Yeah, he has to. He just has to.
and yeah. Although I was impressed, I will say, Mosey had a 20-yard run last week, so there was some signs there, and I think he can be good. It's just tough as a true freshman to make an impact, and he's been put into some difficult situations. So I am kind of encouraged about his development at the running back position. And then before I forget, I just wanted to, Teddy Prohaska out for the season, so that's just a bummer. And I mean, I know I've given him shit on here, but it really is a bummer. I mean, he has given his all to the program, and his body just couldn't hold up, and sometimes it's just like that. So it is a bummer to hear that news, and I'm hoping he can have a successful life off the field and not be bogged down by these injuries later in life.
Yeah, it was sad to see that, and it was heartbreaking to see him breaking down. He literally gave everything for this program. So thank you forever, Teddy Prohaska, for all that you've sacrificed and done.
Surviving 3 coaching staffs.
Yeah, man.
I'm counting the Mickey Joseph interim stint as a coaching staff. So
yeah, and it's too bad because man, if those knees could have held up, I think he'd be playing probably already in the NFL now. Like that's how good he was early in his career. So
he won a bowl game though.
Yeah, he did.
After helping build this program, he won a bowl game. So
yeah. So give him credit for that. And he's a fighter, man. So I'm sure with that spirit that he's got, he'll be just fine. And hopefully I'm sure he'll be walking out the door with a Nebraska degree. So that definitely is going to give him a leg up on life. And
absolutely.
That's why getting your degree, is important. So yeah, let's look at the biggest keys to victory here. So looking at this matchup, what are your biggest keys for Nebraska to come away with the win on Saturday?
Hold the ball, score 3 points, take 50 minutes of game time off the clock. I don't care. I just want them to make sure that they keep the USC offense off the field as much as possible. And I know I always say this all the time, but it doesn't have to be sexy football. If we need to get into a shootout, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I think we probably could, for the most part, trade punches with USC, but I want them to hold the football. I don't want them to try anything explosive unless it's absolutely there. Keep Maivea, keep the USC offense off the field, and play, inch by inch, rugged Big Ten football.
Yeah, I agree. I do think the biggest key for Nebraska is running the football. I think if they have more rushing yards than USC, I think they can win this game legitimately. You look at that's what Illinois did. That's what Notre Dame did. So the 2 games that USC's lost this year, they've been outrushed, and I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think it's partly keeping their offense off the field, and then the other thing is, this pass rush does have 21 sacks in 7 games, so that's 3 sacks per game. They don't really have a dominant rusher. They've got a bunch of guys that have 3-4 sacks, so it's kind of a pass rush by committee. And what's a great way to slow that down? We saw that last week, run the ball. And Emmett Johnson, I have been so impressed with him. He's proven me wrong in so many ways. I did not think he could ever be this good. And, probably nobody did looking at his recruiting rankings and all that. But you talk about a guy that's gone from being who felt like just a guy, he was above a guy. He wasn't just a guy. He was a little above that, but now he's a dude.
He was Mr. Minnesota for football in 2021.
Yeah.
So
his moves though, the jump cut, that has gotten so good. He might have the best jump cut in college football. I'm not even joking. Who cuts better than Emmett Johnson right now? It's his improvement from year to year has been incredible. He catches the ball, he blocks. You talk about NIL money, get this guy some NIL money so he doesn't go to the NFL draft this year. Seriously, because man, you bring back Emmett Johnson, you bring back Dylan Raiola, future's looking bright in Nebraska. And I know the schedule's tough, but we have to stop looking at the schedule. The schedule's going to be tough every single year, you guys. This is the new Big Ten. That's just that's how it is.
With 18 teams, yeah, it is going to be tough.
Yeah, because you don't know who's going to be good and who's not. So I mean, yeah, the people talking oh, Matt Rhule's doing this against the easiest schedule. Next year's schedule might not look as tough next year. You know what I mean?
What are they going to do? Forfeit the games?
Exactly.
It's so stupid. It's the same argument people make against the Patriots. It's such okay. They still got to go out and play the games. I mean, the other team's not trying to lose either, so it's not like they think it's easy,
Yeah, it's not. I mean, yeah, I just don't think you're going to get very many easy schedules. Maybe, but you might get.
Maryland wasn't easy. Michigan gave us a challenge. Michigan State gave us a challenge. I mean, even the
Michigan State was the easiest game on the schedule. So yeah, it's.
So we're ignoring Akron and Houston Christian because I completely am.
Well, yeah, I was talking about among the Big Ten games. Yeah,
I was gonna say yeah. Even Cincinnati. If you're gonna schedule a non-conference opponent, please put them at the beginning of the year because I wouldn't want to face Cincinnati right now.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is Nebraska wins this game, and I know people don't want to hear this and talk, but if they win this game, they should be ranked in the playoff rankings because they've got to win over Cincinnati, who's in the top 20, and USC's ranked. And their only losses would be to Minnesota, which I know doesn't look that great, but Michigan's looking pretty good, and they beat Washington, who's looking pretty darn good. So I feel if they win this game, they'd probably be ranked a little bit behind Michigan, but they're 21, so I would think that they're going to be near the top 20. So I really think if they win this game, not only should they be ranked in the AP poll, but they should be ranked in the first college football playoff ranking. And if you're ranked, man, you got a shot.
Troy Dannon's on that committee, so maybe.
Yeah, get us on there, Troy. Come on, man.
But yeah, no, I mean, and you talk about this weekend for recruiting. There's so many, recruits and names, and so even if we lose, I think as long as we're confident and the fans are loud and make noise, I think we can really build some positive momentum. Especially now knowing, at the time of this video, nothing's signed yet, but reportedly Matt Rhule is going to stay.
Yeah, I think that will definitely help with recruiting. Not that recruiting was suffering at all, but that will just that will take ammunition away from our enemies who will try to say that, oh, Matt Rhule's going to Penn State, yada yada yada, you should flip here. So let's not let that happen. Get this deal done, and let's just move forward. I think let's support this coach. Let's get behind him, and let's see what we can do. Let's see what this program can reach. Because like I said, the arrow's pointing up. I mean, he's done a better job. So like if you were hiring a janitor, right, and he came to pick, and you like, for the Nebraska metaphor would be like, terrible place to come clean, right? And like he was like stripping the floors, and he's like, the floor's looking better, right? The bathrooms are looking better. Maybe it's not pristine, okay? Like maybe it doesn't look as good as you wanted, but like he's getting it cleaned up. And maybe he needs a little bit more time, but you're like, hey, this floor looks pretty damn good, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a raise here. That's what's happening with Nebraska. They're not giving him the entire company, okay, but they're like, yeah, this guy's doing a pretty good job, so let's let him keep doing that job. So,
I'm hoping to give him the NIL stipulations that he wants and the larger assistant pool, because I'm very interested to see what he would be able to do with those.
Yeah, especially the NIL thing, because you look at this team, man. If you get a big time defensive tackle on this team, and a big time get another offensive tackle, maybe
I'd like an edge rusher, another edge rusher.
Their edge rushers are good, but like a legit.
Yeah,
I wish we had Prince Williamalian, but that's another topic for another day. Yeah. And Princewell, that one was a hard one. I don't know that Nebraska really could have done much, but I do think that's one where they probably got NIL'd, where Ole Miss was like, we'll give you, so much money. And he's like, okay.
Wait, I'm going to sound so ignorant for saying this, but he's at Ole Miss too?
Yeah, he is, yeah. And he's
tearing it up. At Ole Miss, right?
Yeah. And and I think his brother went to Ole Miss. I think his brother went to Ole Miss from Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. And then, didn't he go from Florida to Ole Miss? Maybe I might be wrong. And so I think that they probably, and Lane Kiffin is he's a tough guy to beat. Like he just is. I'd want to play for Lane Kiffin. He's freaking cool.
Lane Kiffin's awesome. I'd love to play for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of money to give you too. So I mean, beyond the fact, that's why I'd be shocked if he left. Why would you leave Ole Miss? Why? Doesn't make any sense.
He dominate Florida, and I get the point of where he's like been really good at Ole Miss, but for him in Florida recruiting, my lord.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you could probably say the same thing about LSU. I don't know. It's a tough call. That's going to be very interesting to see what he does in the next.
Brian Kelly to Penn State.
Oh God. You know what I think? I think would be a perfect hire though. Not him, but Virginia Tech needs to get James Franklin. Like that would be such a perfect hire for them, and perfect for him too, because for one, like he could recruit the DMV. Like I think Maryland's days of dominating the DMV would come to an end. And two, he'd be in the ACC, which has a weaker path to the playoff. And three, he wouldn't have the crazy expectations. Like if he won as many games in Blacksburg as he won at Penn State. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he made the playoffs one time, all you have to do is make it one time, he'd be a hero. So I'm like, if you're Virginia Tech, like you just and Frank, like James Franklin is a pretty good. He's probably too good of a coach to be at Virginia Tech, but like he's just scarred from his Penn State.
Yeah, he's not a bad coach.
I want to say failures, but he's won 68% of his games. Like we should be so lucky. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's like even but people in Matt Rhule, it's like we could be, Wisconsin, we could be Colorado right now. I mean,
yeah, man, we ain't getting beat. We ain't getting beat 40. I know we got beat bad by Indiana last year, but like, is Utah even? I mean, are they even ranked right now? No. And they just like I get it, people, but at least Indiana's like looks like they have the best coach in college football outside of, I have to say Ryan Day's really good, even though I hate his guts, but he's probably the best coach in college football.
And honestly, Signetti's 64. So
yeah, so he's gonna do his best to get. I mean, that would be a pretty sweet flex though, win a national title at Indiana and then just walk off.
Yeah, no, retire. That would be bigger than any of Alabama's titles. But the real the real thing I want to know is if Brian Kelly gets a job at Penn State, will he still have his family with him, or will he completely drop that Southern accent and return to his Worcester, Mass roots and actually not be a snake oil salesman? And the answer is probably no, because he's one of the best snake oil salesmen in the business. I understand all coaches are snake oil salesmen, but Brian Kelly deserves his own trophy for that award. But we'll see.
Here's what's going to happen. Penn State's going to be like, you know what? We need Bill O'Brien back, and they're going to go take your head coach, and then Brian Kelly's like, I can go home again, and he's gonna go back to BC.
Or Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly probably would do a better job than Brian Kelly. I mean,
anybody would do a better job. Oh, Brian, I can't stand Brian Kelly. In case nobody could figure that out. I can't stand him
either. Just show that one video of him dancing with Walker Howard, and that sums up his career right there. Like, you know what I mean? Just a douche. That's the way to describe Brian Kelly, a douche.
or the fact that the unfortunate, and I'm not joking about this, but the crane incident at Notre Dame. I mean, his negligence there was unacceptable.
Yeah, no, that was that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. A kid did die, and something almost happened like that at LSU too, I think. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to this Nebraska game.
I know. Sorry, everybody.
We really don't like Brian Kelly on this podcast. So, all right. So, what do you what's your bold prediction? Not necessarily your prediction for the score, but what's your bold prediction for this game?
Let's see. We win. I mean, okay. So I guess maybe if you really like, I guess if you wanted a statistical prediction, I'm gonna say Emmett Johnson has at least 2 touchdowns. But I guess my overall bold prediction would that be we win.
That is a bold prediction. I'm trying to think of bold predictions. I really don't have a great one, but
I don't have one either.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think Dylan Raiola is going to have a really good game, though. I don't know if I think he's going to have no interceptions, and I think he'll have multiple touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to have like 300 yards because I do think they're going to try to slow it down a little bit. But I'll say this: I think Dylan Raiola is going to have his best game as a Husker on Saturday night. Like maybe not statistically, you know what I mean? It might not be his career high for passing yards, but I think when we come away from it, like when we're talking about it after, I think we're gonna be like, this was Dylan Raiola's best game, just playing quarterback, making the plays when he needed to, taking care of the football. Like this is his moment. And I think after Saturday night, like we're not going to wonder if Dylan Raiola is an elite quarterback. We're going to know because we're going to see it against a top 25 team.
I like it. And I guess I can offer a bold prediction here. Kenneth Williams will be up for another special teams player of the week accolade by the time this game is done. And I'm sorry, I don't care if that kicker had 9 points or whatever. That's bullshit. Kenneth Williams should have been ultimate or the only special teams player of the week. But congrats to him, from a walk-on to earning a scholarship to special teams player of the week. I mean, what a great story.
I mean, like if he's got 4 games, but right now he's leading the nation in kickoff yards per return. I think I mentioned the other day the guy that's ahead of him. I think I said Big Ten return yards on here, but it actually was the national one I looked up. It just happened to be a Washington player who's leading him. So the guy who's leading him for total yards has like 60 more return yards, but he's got like 6 or 7 more returns. So like Kenneth Williams, for all intents and purposes, has been the best kick returner in college football. And man, if he has another big return, he's going to be an All-American. Like if he has another 80-yard return, he will be an All-American. And that, I mean, again, Mike Eckler needs a tip of the cap, but Kenneth Williams too. Like what a story. What a great job by him. And so yeah, like this team could have multiple All-Americans led by our boy Kenny Williams. So hopefully, yeah, man, that would be. Let's just take the first one back. Like why mess around? First kickoff you get, bam, take it back for a touchdown.
That'd be so sweet. the place would be rocking. The place would be rocking.
Especially if we got it first. I like taking the ball in the second half anytime you can, but man, wouldn't that be like if he had the blackout? That would be such a cool picture too, and then the balloons. Yeah. Hopefully they have the balloons flying in the air. I like that they brought back the balloons. I understand they're probably not the greatest thing for the environment, but
But it's only after the first touchdown, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how bad can a balloon be for like the ozone or whatever. I don't know. Probably maybe not great, but I'm just gonna say like, I don't have a problem.
Back in 90,000 balloons be for the ozone.
Yeah, I get okay. You're right. Probably not great, but
not great. But honestly, I mean, we've probably put worse things into our bodies, and we're probably breathing in horrible air as we speak. So
true, exactly. So no harm. Mostly no harm, no foul.
Can we do okay, we're gonna do score predictions. I was gonna say
we'll do our score prediction, and we'll have our come join us for our Saturday morning pregame chat. We'll have that. We'll talk. We'll try to break down a little bit more of the recruiting stuff happening this weekend too.
There's a lot.
We're kind of bumping up against. Yeah, that could be a whole nother episode. So we'll try to reserve some time for that.
We'll do that on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday morning chat. As long as we don't get too off the rails. Sometimes we do, but
sometimes. How all the time?
Yeah. Well, all the time. But all right. Well, what's your prediction against the spread? USC 6.5 point favorite. That seems a little high to me. I'm just gonna say that.
I could see it though with how this defensive line plays sometimes, but honestly, Nebraska 31, USC 28. Kyle Kinanen game-winning field goal right as time expires.
Boom. I'm going to say similar, but I'm going to go Nebraska 27, USC 24. I do think we hit a game-winning field goal in like the last minute or so. I think it's going to be a really good game. And but I think that we milk the clock. I think we shorten the possessions. I think we make it into an NFL style game instead of a college football game where there's 150 plays. I think we make it 110, 120. I think Emmett Johnson has a great game. I don't think we see Archie Wilson very much. I think not. Yeah, I think Nebraska. See, I think Nebraska like 8 possessions. Score on 4 or 5 of them. Milk the clock, and that's the way you win this game. And I do think they have a good chance to do that. It worries me that USC's coming off a bye week, and you give Lincoln Riley an extra week to examine your defense. I mean, it's going to be tough. Yeah. John Butler's going to have to earn his salary, but I feel like Sayer Wright, Andrew Marshall, this is going to be their game. I think they're going to play really well, and I think it's by hook or by crook, Nebraska's going to find a way, 27-24.
Yeah. And I think I don't think the statistics are going to be all great. Like I could see the defense giving up, I don't know, like 400 yards, but just keep them out of the end zone. I don't care how many yards they give up. Just hold on to field goals, keep them out of the end zone. It's not going to be a pretty game for either team. These are two high-powered offenses, but just win, baby, as the great Al Davis said, and that's become my catchphrase on here. But just win. It's not going to be pretty, but I think they can win. And man, I wish I was in Nebraska right now. I wish I was going to the game. That place is going to be rocking. I can't wait.
It probably will be as loud. I mean, I don't know. It might be louder than the Colorado game. I'm not sure because people hate Colorado and Nebraska, so maybe not. But it's going to be really close. And I think everything. Yeah, you said you hit it right on the head. They just need to play smart. And I really think if they outrush USC, I think they're going to win this game. So yeah, Emmett Johnson, like this is his night, and then him and then you get some play action passes with Raiola. Like I think those two guys are going to lead us to victory. So hopefully then everybody can get off Matt Rhule's back. We can celebrate this contract extension, and then we'll have 3 games to go win to try to get to the playoffs. So I mean, this could be a really great weekend for Nebraska with a lot of exciting things moving forward. So
and we can already start picking what bowl game we might be able to go to. Hopefully not the Pinstripe Bowl again,
but yeah, I mean, I did think thinking about that, I'm like, man, the fact that we made a bowl game again and no one's even like mentioned it hardly. I do think that that's a sign of progress. So good on Troy Dannon, good on Matt Rhule. Let's go beat USC.
I agree.
So, all right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back Saturday morning, 6 p.m. Central Time if you want to hang out with us with our pregame, or 7 p.m. Central Time, excuse me. If you want to hang out with us before College Game Day, Big Noon Kickoff, all those shows. And if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and get into the comment section. And as always, go Big Red.
Wear black, please. Go Big Red.
Yeah, wear black.